Leafs win, and it wasn't as boring as the previous game against the Edmonton Oilers. Leafs win 4-2 over the Edmonton Oilers, and a complete different mirror image game. Absolute opposite of the last time we met the Oilers the time before. From one of the most boring games that we could ever see to not one of the best games we could ever see, but just a better all-around game. So the starting goaltenders were Frederik Andersen and Mikko Koskinen again, and Koskinen, they said that he had not won back-to-back games in 36 games last year. So it's been over a year since he's won a back-to-back game. And so right then we're thinking maybe this is going to be in our favor. Maybe this is something we could jump on. So no scoring in the first period whatsoever, and it kind of made it seem like it was going to be a little boring, but the signs were all pointing to it breaking open at some point, because the game before it was just, there weren't any signs of that. Now going into the second period, we ended up getting a power play, which you would think that would be to our advantage, but it ended up being a shorthanded goal for the Edmonton Oilers by Leon Draisaitl, making it 1-0. Now a little bit of a mishandle behind the net and not fast enough. Kailer Yamamoto sent it over to Draisaitl, and Draisaitl had a lot to shoot at by himself out front and just kind of stuffed it between Andersen's pads. Now less than a minute later, Adam Brooks got his first NHL goal, and it was just a shot, and he barely even saw it, and it just went off of him, off of his foot and in. So, and I don't even think he thought it was his goal. I think they thought whoever shot it from the point, it was their goal. Now early on we're seeing Jimmy Vesey and William Nylander rubbing off on each other and having a really good effect. Nylander's really making Vesey better, and Vesey seems very comfortable, as that was a really big issue for him when he was in New York and Buffalo and any place that he was kind of playing in the NHL so far. He hasn't really seemed quite comfortable. So a really nice feed from Nylander, Vesey wide open, and he even said in the post-game interview that he wasn't really asking for the pass, but he kind of just yelled to Willie just in case, and Willie ended up sending it to him. And I don't think the goalie even thought that he was going to pass it, because he ended up on his stomach after that. Now in the third period, Connor McDavid shows off why he is so good, and it was pretty much just a drawn-up, simple play. Like if you were to practice it, as a center or winger, getting the puck back to the point and going straight to the net in the slot for a deflection. And that's exactly what McDavid did. He saw it, and he just made it look so easy and deflected it right down between Freddie's legs. Now tied at 2 going to the power play. We had a pretty good power play, but it just seemed like we were not shooting as much as we were. And when I was watching, I was kind of getting a little frustrated about why we weren't taking those shots. But just as I was frustrated there, Mitch Marner, who had a pretty quiet night early on, and everyone was really on him because he just has the capability to take over games, but really doesn't a lot. And I think that's more because of how many stars we have on this team. They want to defer to each other, which there's nothing wrong with that. Now for the power play goal, Marner made a really good move at the blue line. Everyone thought that he was going to do his little toe drag, but he didn't. He ended up just shooting it right on net, and Tavares ended up tipping it. And that's Tavares' 4th power play goal on all 4 of his goals that he has. So he doesn't have any even strength, but he's just as advertised as what he's supposed to be on the power play. We closed it out right there. Marner gets on the board again and gets the empty netter, and that made it 4-2 and put the game out of reach, obviously. Now I liked in this game that we kept up with the shots. Even though we were outshot by 3, it was still a pretty even game all around. And even the power plays, we only had 4 minutes worth of power plays on each side, which I like because that meant we were being pretty disciplined, but it also meant that you had to capitalize on the rare chances you got, and we did, as Tavares got that power play goal. Now these last few starts, I'm really hoping that Andersen is finding his groove and stride and consistency, because that's what we're looking for, and he's just helping out his numbers here, keeping it below 3 in a game. that's kind of what you need out of your starting goaltender. Now, what I'm looking for in the next few games, especially with Thornton being out and Matthews being day-to-day, if Matthews doesn't come back before the next game, I really want to see Marner drive the offense, because he really has the ability to. And he has been given the benefit of the doubt and been given a very long leash from a lot of fans. And a lot of people will harp on Nylander, but a lot of people are now looking over to Marner to say, okay, you have to make the players around you better, as Matthews and Nylander have been showing to be doing. So we're going to see what happens, because this is a time where they can really prove their worth and show what they are as a player. And being that he was a center when he was playing in London in the OHL, he wants to probably transition back to there someday. And that might be later in his career, but he needs to prove to his coaches and teammates that he can be that player. Now, I was going to start off the video with this, but I just wanted to get to the game first. But we do have a huge deal and huge news in the NHL today. So Patrick Laine was traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets along with Jack Roslovic for Pierre-Luc Dubois and a 2022 third-round pick from Columbus. Now, this is a trade that we were kind of expecting from Columbus, but maybe not from Winnipeg. So when you hear rumors around the NHL, you kind of just, if there's not really a great source or anything like that, you kind of shrug it off. But Dubois was definitely going, and even Darren Dreger was saying that he was probably going within 24 hours. You wake up this morning, and that's exactly what happened. But Laine, I thought, was probably going to stick around and figure it out in Winnipeg. Hearing a lot of trade rumors about him to Philadelphia and him to Washington and all these crazy scenarios of what they could do to get it done. And I think this was the perfect storm. This was a guy that really wanted out of Columbus, and a guy on Winnipeg's side in Jack Roslovic, who also demanded a trade. So Winnipeg is getting an elite center in Pierre-Luc Dubois. He was drafted in the same year as Patrick Laine and Austin Matthews. And a lot of people were wondering why Jesse Puljujarvi wasn't taken over him. And Dubois, I think the Columbus Blue Jackets really knew what they were getting in him. So it is too bad that he didn't work out there. He really made Columbus a fun team to watch, and he was an integral piece and one of their best players and scorers against the Leafs in that opening qualifying round series last season. Now, I'm only interested in if Laine is going to stay there long term. Like, how many years is he going to stay? If he's going to make Columbus his long-term home, or is he going to be looking for a different market? Or is he looking around the league at specific players that he wants to play with? Maybe there's other players from Finland or something like that that he would like to join. Who knows what's going through his mind. But the Jets are definitely up the middle, going to be an amazing team now, more than they were with Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, and now with Pierre-Luc Dubois. The Jets are probably going to get a huge boost this year, and expect them to climb the standings and be a really difficult team to deal with, because you're looking at a guy in Pierre-Luc Dubois that could be a possible, maybe even like a Selke player in the future, a very good defensive forward. So they already have a lot of those on the Jets, and I think him being mentored and being side by side by Wheeler and Scheifele is going to be awesome for his development in his career. So that is it for what's going on in the NHL today. Sorry this video is a little late today. I just had some stuff I had to do. I am trying to get these posted a little earlier in the day. I am working on that. And yeah, so I mean, you don't really see these big trades in the middle of the season, so it's interesting to see one going north, one going south, and I'm assuming they're not going to be able to get them for 14 days for quarantine reasons. Yeah, and good luck to Patrick Laine and Pierre-Luc Dubois on their new teams. I hope that these moves pay off dividends to you guys, and you guys find success in your new markets. So thanks everyone for coming by, and everyone who likes, comments, subscribes, everything like that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the trade, who won it, who lost it, if you thought that they should have went somewhere else, or any other angle that you have on the trade. I'll see you guys after the next Leafs game. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.